Hi everyone and welcome to a new starting from scratch Football Manager 2015 experiment, and as you can tell from the title, I'm going to be doing AC Milan and Inter Milan, two very big Italian clubs, two worldwide clubs with massive fan bases. And it was a popular request in my second video. It was the Real Madrid and Barcelona video. Someone commented and it seemed to be a popular idea, so I've gone for it. I've never done anything in Italy before, so it's good to do something different, make a change. Make sure you check out my other starting from scratch videos, by the way, if you haven't done so already. The links to them will be in the description below. A really popular request has been removing all of the players from all of the English Premier Division teams. I will be doing that. I'd thought about doing that before I even uploaded the first video, but great minds think alike. You think the same as well, and I think that would be a lot of fun. Be quite messy, I think, but that would be a good one to play the database with as well, so you can download and have a go. That would be quite fun, I think. Just like the Arsenal and Tottenham video, I've decided to keep the managers in charge of AC Milan and Inter, just to see how they do with a reduced team. Obviously in recent years they've both suffered because Juventus have dominated and Napoli have been very good as well, so they've sort of dropped off a bit. I've removed all their first team players, plus any players that are sort of over the age of 20 in the under 21s, just so they actually use their youth and see who they sign as well. Can they survive? Probably not. Majority of cases in this series, they probably will get relegated first season. Barcelona and Real Madrid survive mainly because they could call on their B teams, which are very good teams in themselves. But will AC Milan and Inter? I don't think so. They'll probably go down in the first season, but we'll have to see, won't we, what happens. So these are the players for International. So let's holiday to the end of the first season and see how both get on. I think I've holidayed it about 10-12 seasons, so we can have a look really far into the future in Italy and see how they do. So here we go at the end of the first season. As you would expect, Inter and AC Milan both went down, but AC Milan dramatically worse. 27 defeats, 21 points, 35 points for Inter. Juventus ran away with it, 93 points above Sampdoria, Roma, Atalanta. Napoli all the way down in 10th actually. So let's look a bit deeper into the teams. Roberto Mancini is now in charge of Inter, which is quite interesting. Mazzarri left in March, the beginning of March. It didn't last that long really in charge of Inter in total, but Mancini's come in and got them relegated, but they did better than AC Milan overall. Let's look at their transfer history. They spent 3.06 million. So of course in this series, teams have already spent their transfer budget for the summer in real life, meaning that they won't have much to spend, even with all their players being removed and a greater wage budget to be flexible with. But teams generally won't spend much in the first season, which is why they get relegated. What I could do is turn something off, like I think when you set up a game you have the choice of messing around with the transfers, meaning that they'll have a bit of money to spend. But I think it's a bit more interesting this way, to see them fall and see how quickly they recover. Their captain is this guy, Alberto Friesen, 27-year-old, coming from Catania, and Mariano Arini, coming in from Avellino, is their vice captain. So it wasn't good enough in the end. They couldn't survive. How did they do in European football? It looks like they did okay actually. So they got to the first knockout round and lost against the Dnipro. The Tim Cup, what's this? Some sort of Italian cup. How did they do against AC Milan? They lost 2-0 and drew 0-0. So AC Milan actually won that battle. These are the goal scorers. So let's move on to AC Milan and see what happened to them. So Filippo Inzaghi is still in charge of the team. David Di Michele is their captain, 39 years old. And Daniel Di Donatio is there. He's 38. They like signing their old men, don't they? Both these teams, in fact. In recent years, they've loved their old men on Zimmer frames. So this is their team. Who was their top scorer? I forgot to look at Inter, but their top scorer was awful. They just had an awful season. They spent a bit more actually than Inter, although they did sell a couple of players. I'm not sure where they're selling players when, they need to bring players in. But that's what they seem to have decided to do. Look at all those losses. They didn't lose any horribly though. 4-0, it's the worst I can see. 5-1 against PSG in a friendly. But that's about it. It's not the worst result you'd ever see. But they've gone down, so how quickly will they recover? Will both teams be able to bounce back? Let's have a look. So in Serie A, Juventus once again won the league, but not quite as dominant this season. Let's go down to Italian Serie B, or B, or however it's meant to be pronounced. And AC Milan have gone up, but Inter haven't. They finished 8th, so although they did slightly better last season, it's a bit like the Arsenal-Tottenham video. But AC Milan have gone up via whatever this playoff system is that they have in Italy. Because, what is their playoff system? There's a play-out, which is, I guess, they play a relegated team from Serie A. And then the playoffs, AC Milan won in the final. It's a two-legged affair. But they went through 2-1 on aggregate. So let's have a look at who both teams signed when I finally click on AC Milan. So they've got a new manager, Javier Aguirre, who replaced Inzaghi. When did he leave? 21st of October 2015 he was sacked, and in came Javier Aguirre, the Mexican. So a lot more money being spent this season, 16.75 million. Are they still rich? They're secure. And their reputation's gone down to 4 stars. I think it was 4.5 at the start. Inter's was, I think. So their biggest signing was... they didn't spend a huge amount on one player. They spread their money out sensibly. Giovanni De Lorenzo coming in from Regina. So there we go. Schedule-wise, let's look. Did they manage to beat Inter again? 0-0 draw and a 1-0 win. So AC Milan getting the bragging rights there. Let's look at Inter. So they have a new manager. They've had 4 in total, in fact. Mancini sacked, Vici sacked, and now Domenico De Carlo. It's been there 32 days. Vici only survived 38. And they spent 11.75 million, but they sold £29.5 million worth of players. I wonder if these were youngsters. Lorenzo Christig was a legend on a few FMs a few years ago. I developed him very nicely once. Going a bit off topic there. But Rodrigo Ili was their top signing, 1.6 million, coming from Avellino. So, disappointing season. I'm going to holiday another season, see if they get back up. And then after that, we'll skip ahead a few. See how they both do long term. So, once again, Juventus won the title. Only 2 points ahead of Roma. Biggest question, AC Milan, I guess. They've survived. 45 points, 15th place. Not the best first season back, but they survived. That's the main thing, I guess. Javier Aguirre has survived as manager. Transfer-wise, they spent 11.6 million, sold 7.5 million. I guess both these teams, they're not going to attract as big a players as they used to, especially now that they've started from scratch. Their reputation's gone down to continental. They're still rich, but transfer-wise, obviously not as big. The biggest signing was Nicolas Sansone, who came from Cagliari. So yeah. Let's look at the team. Who was top scorer? Nicolas Sansone, in fact. Average rating-wise, it was Andrea Barberis. So there we go. Schedule-wise, let's have a look. See how they did. You can see their transfers. So the biggest question, I guess, you're asking is how did Inter Milan do? Well, let's have a look. Did they get promoted? I'm going all over the place here. No, they didn't. Where did they finish? I want to click on the league table. 6th place. That's poor. 63 points. Bologna, Empoli and Catanzaro going up. So disappointing stuff for Inter. didn't even get above 5th all season. So once again, not going up. I'm going to holiday a few seasons to see if they eventually do go up. They've got another manager, Massimo Drago now. Transfer-wise, they spent 13.1 million, sold 20 million pounds worth of players. Again, a lot of players going out from the club. Biggest signing, Alberto Picci. Schedule-wise, let's look at some of their matches. There you go. So I'll holiday into the future a bit and see how they both get on. So at the end of the 2020-21 season, Juventus haven't won the title. They finished 5th. Catania won it with 81 points. Don't know what's going on there, but that's interesting. In terms of AC Milan, they aren't actually here, are they? And nor are Inter. That's fascinating stuff. So let's go back and see what has happened. So back to this season, 15th AC Milan finished. Then they got relegated with 35 points. Juventus won the league. Juventus won it again. And no sign of AC Milan or Inter. And then AC Milan must have got promoted again, but have once again got relegated. They've turned into a yo-yo team. That's fascinating. They're 3-star reputation, national, secure finances. That is really interesting. They've really suffered. And Inter have not got promoted at all, I don't think. We'll double check, but I don't think they have. And of course, Roma and then Catania winning the league. So Juventus have suffered in the last couple of seasons. AC Milan, let's look at their manager history. They've had a few managers, as you can see. They've been up and down like a yo-yo, and they've just won Serie B, meaning they've got promoted once again. But Inter Milan are here, 6th place. Where have they finished? They've just really suffered. 4th, 5th, they've not managed to go up in the playoffs though. And manager-wise, they've had a few different ones. So both teams suffering. AC Milan have been going up though, but haven't managed to recover. And Inter, of course, haven't recovered at all. Let's have a quick look. They're 3-star national reputation as well. Secure finances. Ooh. Well, I'm going to holiday to the end of the 2025-26 season, but both these teams really have suffered big time. I may do this again in Italy, but with Juventus next time. Possibly another team like Napoli as well. See how they do. So at the end of the 2025-26 season, we're quite far into the future now. Juventus have in fact won the league. AC Milan up in 5th, but no sign of Inter. So there you go. I wonder if they've actually got promoted at all. We will have a look in a minute. Let's just go back to here. So AC Milan managed to finish 8th in their first season, back after getting promoted again. Then 6th, then 5th, then 9th, and lastly 5th. So they've had a very good return since getting promoted again. They've got 4-star continental reputation. Their finances are secure. Manager-wise, they've had one for 5 years, 78 days. So perhaps their secret is keeping hold of a manager for a long time, and he's helped develop the team. Transfer-wise, they're spending quite a lot, but they're selling a lot as well, as you can see. Going back, 54.9 million spent that season. It's some big money going out of the club, but also quite a lot of money coming in as well. We've got Andrei Yarmolenko, 36 years old. Forest, who's that? No, that's the region. Who else? Is there any real players here that we know? Probably a couple. Ah, they've got Nangolan, the Belgian, 38 years old. Wow. So have they managed to win anything in recent years? Probably not. I can't imagine they have. They won the Italian Serie B in 2021, and that's about it by the looks of it. So as you can see, Inter have actually got promoted, finally, just as I'm ending this video. I think, though, it's just shown that they have really struggled, and them getting promoted is just not luck, but persistence, I guess. Eventually getting promoted. I won't be holidaying anymore. I think this just shows that Inter struggled more than AC Milan. That might just be luck because of the save. If you download the database, let me know how they both do if you decide to holiday or play with one of these teams or play with another Italian team on the database. You can let me know how they get on, but it took them until 2025-26 to get promoted again. 3.5 star reputation. They're rich though, so perhaps they will spend a bit of money. Manager wise, they've had one for 3 years, 93 days. They've allowed someone to develop the team, and it's finally paid off, and they've got promoted via the playoffs. Not spending as much, of course, because they're in a lower division. But there we go, guys. Inter have finally got promoted. I would holiday more, but it just seems a bit silly having to keep holidaying because we've already holidayed 12 seasons. I think that's enough for this video, but thank you for watching. Please leave your thoughts in the comment section below. And the next video, I don't know when it will be, I don't know who it will be, but I've got a few databases loaded or saved to do. And of course, like I said, I will be doing that Premier League one where I release all of the Premier League players, see what happens. But please leave a like if you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in a future video.